Welcome to my new video podcast. Happy Groundhog's Day. I wanted to start a new video podcast about knitting because it's my new obsession. My name is Mary and I'm from Nashville. Well, I'm from Ohio, but I moved to Nashville about 10 years ago, 11 years ago. I have two kids. Kira is in kindergarten and Connor is in second grade. And I have a wonderful husband named Josh, who I've been married to since July of 2000, so that would be almost 11 years. And we have three dogs. Scully, who we have had since she was a little baby, and it was right after we got married. And Charlie, who was a rescue dog, who was unfortunately on his last leg. And he was having trouble breathing and having trouble walking and his bloody nose, and he's not doing too well, but we love him very much. And then Skyla, who ran away from the neighbor's house and never went home. Then we moved and we brought her with us, so that's our little family. I am a teacher, but I'm currently unemployed, so I don't know if that still makes me a teacher. I still want to be considered a teacher. And that's me. I spend my days knitting, which I think is a better job than teaching sometimes. So that's what I'm doing right now, and that's what I've become obsessed with, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. My story as far as knitting goes is I started knitting a couple weeks before Halloween. I actually knitted when I was younger, and never made anything. My mom showed me how to do just the garter stitch. I did never make a scarf, did never do anything with it. My mom is a seamstress and she's very crafty, and I kind of was put off by that and didn't want to do anything like that. Kira's coming up. Come here and give me a kiss. Come here. Come here. Just come here and give me a kiss, and then you can go away and I'll talk about it later. Okay. I think the way that I thought about clothing, not necessarily knitting, but when my mom would make clothes for me, I would think it was because we were poor and she couldn't afford to buy clothes, which is really very silly since it's actually more expensive to make it than buy it. But I always associated bad things with knitting and sewing and crafting, and then this year when it came time to decide what we were going to be for Halloween, my son Connor wanted to be Harry Potter, and we could not find a Harry Potter scarf anywhere. So I decided knitting's not that hard. I could do it. So I went to Walmart and picked out the burgundy and gold, and it took me about a week and a half of working very, very hard to make the scarf. But I got it made, and since then I haven't been able to stop. My blog is called An Exchange Student in Fiberland because when I was in high school, 1994, I spent a year in Australia as an exchange student, and my experience with knitting has reminded me of what it was like when I first got to Australia, because even though the language is the same, there are a lot of differences that everyone assumed I knew, but I really had no idea what they were talking about. And there are a lot of things going on in knitting that it's like there's this whole world of knitting and I don't know anything about it. So I'm slowly learning new things and I'm trying to get acclimatized. So I thought it would be interesting to start a podcast from a different perspective. There's quite a few podcasts out there from experienced knitters, but I thought it'd be interesting to show you all what I'm learning, and maybe it'll remind you of what you went through when you first started, or maybe you just grew up with it and it's not new, or I don't know, I just thought it was interesting. And the reason I'm doing a video blog is because I find it really hard to listen to just podcasts without being able to see somebody. Plus, I want to show you all my knit. So you can join in my adventure, laugh at me. Sometimes I feel like a kindergartner, like I am so proud of something, or I give the wrong explanation. I think I have a grasp on something and it's totally off the wall, and so you'll probably be laughing at some of the things that I come up with, but feel free to set me straight. I wanted to show you what's on my needles. First off, I have my toe-up socks that are almost finished. I love, love, love 2 at a time. And toe-up, I don't know why, but I'm kind of intimidated of cuff down. So, I've done something new. I've never done the partridge heel with the little heel flap. So this is my first one. It's not gorgeous, but it's exciting because it's new. There's lots of things that, as far as the heel flap, I picked up the heel flap for the first time. The pattern that I did before just was the Flegel, I think it's called, heel. Excuse me. And what I'm trying to do is come up with my own generic sock pattern. Not my own generic sock pattern, but a sock pattern that I can go to and I know backwards and forwards, and I can just knit socks all the time with the stripy sock yarn, and then try different sock patterns with solid color yarn. But this sock pattern is from, I wrote it down. I'm not good with details, so I have to write everything down. It's from Aesthetic Entanglements Mashup Magic Toe-Up Sock Tutorial. And she goes through each stage and gives you a picture, like casting on and then increases and turning the heel. I had a hard time. This is actually the second time I've tried those kind of socks. And I gave up on the heel last time, and so I came back and I kept going, persisted, so that I could learn something new. But I like her blog because it gives you the pictures, which help, but I find that I learn better with video. But the pictures help, and also I like that I can customize it to each size. So the last ones I made were for Connor, and these ones are for me, and you just measure and figure out what your gauge is, and then it tells you how many to cast on. The next thing that's on my needles is making this towel. It's called Fantasy Dishcloth by Magic Knitting Girl, and I'm using sugar and cream because I have a lot of sugar and cream. If you can look right here, I've actually messed up, so I'm gonna have to rip it back, and I just put this down yesterday. It only took me maybe half an hour, 45 minutes to get this far, but I messed up, and I'm trying to figure out if I will keep going and just not worry about it, or if I'll rip it back a couple of rows. I'm not very much of a perfectionist, so I just figure I'll learn from my mistakes and go on. But this is something that I could probably fix, so I should, because I also learned by fixing my mistakes. Spoken from a true teacher. And then the last thing on my needles, well, not last thing, but the last thing I'm going to show you is, I just casted this on. I went and picked up Kira from school about 20 minutes ago, and right before I left, I cast on more socks, because I'm a little obsessed with socks. These are from the Knitters Brewing Company. I ordered, these were the first thing I ever ordered for knitting online, and it's called the Cordova color, and there's a mystery knit along that I am following, and I'm a little behind, but that's okay. I'm gonna catch up because I'm gonna knit. Along with this came my little charm. Not a charm, what do you call it? Can't think of what you call it when you hold your place, or marker. There we go. Isn't it beautiful? And then it also came with these two hearts, which are going to be part of the sock, but I don't know what it is yet because I have not read ahead because I'm being a good girl. And I know I said I wasn't going to show you anything else that's on my needles, but I can't have just one. I always have to have multiple things going on. This is for Josh scarf. It's I don't remember what it's called. Holding hands something. There's little star stitches in each one, which is kind of fun to make. You have to purl 3 at a time. I haven't worked on it for a while because I told Josh that unless he hung up my pictures that I've been waiting for him to hang up, I'm not going to work on his scarf anymore. So I put that away. It's probably been 3 weeks maybe. And yes, I'm aware that I can hang up the pictures myself, but I tend to... Okay, I'm obsessed with a lot of things, apparently, because I said obsessed probably 5 times already. But I really like using Velcro to hang things up. And a couple of my pictures have fallen down that I Velcroed, and there's a shelf that fell down. So I told Josh I would wait for him to actually use a hammer and nail to hang it up. So that's why I'm waiting. And I wanted to do a section or a segment. Hold on. Hey Connor, can you, or Kira, can you reach this Harry Potter scarf for me? Why? Because I need it for a minute. I wanted to do a segment called Foreign Words to stick with my theme of being an exchange student. There are so many words that people throw around, like Ravelry, which I know now is a website that I love and is very helpful, but I had no idea what Ravelry was. But a lot of people on Ravelry or on the other video blogs that I've been watching have words that they just kind of throw around that I don't have any idea what they are, or I've just learned what they are. So my foreign word for today is hank. I probably heard the word hank when people were talking, and I probably knew what they were talking about when they said it, but in the opposite way, hold on, thank you, love bug. The opposite, when I ordered my yarn from the Knitters Brewing Company, it came in a hank, and I had no idea how to get it onto the 2 balls that I need to make my 2 at a time toe-up socks. I've already had problems untangling yarn, and so I was afraid of it in the first place. So I just decided to start it, and it started getting tangled, and so then I needed to look up on the internet and find out how to unwind it so that I could roll it into a ball. And I had no idea what it was. I knew it wasn't a skein, so I don't even know how I found out the word was hank. But once I found out the word hank, I found that you could wrap it around or place it on the back of 2 chairs and then unwind it very easily, which was very exciting. Very exciting that I could finally figure it out. But that's just one of those things that a new person or an experienced knitter doesn't even think of. They either have their ball winder, or they already knew how to unwind it, and so that was just one of my little adventures. Let's see. I guess the only thing left, I would love to be able to show you all of my finished objects because I'm very proud of them, and I'll probably post pictures on the website. But I wanted to start today with my very, very first finished object, which is Connor's scarf. I didn't know how to make fringe, so I didn't. It's all garter stitch. I had no idea how wide to make it, so I made it probably twice as wide as it needed to be. I didn't weave in the ends, but I did make it, and it's warm and cute, and Connor loves it, so that's all that matters. And this is my what I think of when I think of knitting and why I started. Knitting has been so important to me since I lost my job. What happened was I was a teacher. I taught middle school math at a private school here in Nashville that ended up closing, but they closed at the end of summer, and it was too late. I didn't find a regular teaching job at a private or public school, so I'm just kind of hanging out and seeing what happens from here. But as far as knitting's role, I was depressed and didn't have anything to do other than lay on the couch and watch TV. I did some cleaning and stuff like that, but it wasn't fulfilling. Now I've found knitting, and I feel very fulfilled, and I wish I could knit all the time. And so that's pretty much what I do, is knit all the time. Thanks for joining me, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you can hear it. I'm just using photo booth, so I don't have anything, any editing skills, or I didn't even get a microphone out. So I hope you can hear me. If not, I guess I'll try it again tomorrow. Alright, thanks for coming. Bye.